Fitzy.
I can hear you,
Can
but
you
I don't hear
Oh,
nothing.
there you are.
Where's
Man,
our music?
that's usually. Oh shoot! You know what? Where's our little countdown thing?
We're
Oh,
live, but
it's
we
been
don't
a
have.
disaster this morning, but it's
I
positive
started
Tuesday.
it
Yeah,
by trying to change my computer.
yeah, yeah. So on that note, I should come down and help you because I know yeah, we got to get that microphone working for Chris Cruzy next week.
Right, I'm gonna sing with him.
Yeah, right. I hopefully so. Yeah, I'll come down. Where are you? What's your schedule like? How about Friday
Uh,
morning?
I can do Friday morning as long as it's early Friday. I
Friday
got a meeting
or Wednesday?
at I don't know what time. I got a meeting sometime Friday. I got a meeting at 7:30 online and 8 o'clock, so we can do.
Earlier the better for me. I can be there at 6.
Yeah, I'm fine with 6.
Okay. All right,
If you
cool.
want to get up and be in Rice Lake or be in
Yep, I
Barren
got
at
no
6.
problem. I get up at 4:30 anyway, so that's fine. All right, so real quick, going over a couple of things. I don't have a lot written down. I assume that you wanted to kind of continue on with the recap and some of the numbers from Barron County from last year.
Yeah, I have a couple. I didn't get to that yesterday, but yes.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't have a post up.
I know. I was busy yesterday. I was doing stuff.
Doing cop
I was
stuff.
being the sheriff yesterday.
I wonder, what is your typical day? You know what? I want to ask that. When we go, I
Okay.
want to ask what your typical day is. The only
All
thing
right.
else I had written down is I wanted your opinion on this proposed bill that would reduce the legal age for concealed carry from 21 to 18. Yeah, COVID cases are on the rise and stuff. So I don't have a ton of stuff written down. So if there's anything you want
Yeah,
to
I
chime
don't know.
in,
Maybe the people have something to talk about.
yeah. And on a side note, Dave Wilson, when he was, where is it? There we go. When he was watching last week, he said there were some delays and stuff. So I have moved every feature down, no high definition. It's a 720p. So hopefully people that are watching it live, there isn't going to be any delays. So audio stuff. So we're going to be testing that out. So there we go. Ready to rock?
Well, I have one. There's about a 10-second delay.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, January 18th, 2022. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business has provided quality work in roofing, garages, siding, window installations, kitchen and bathroom remodeling, vinyl and hardwood flooring, and they can even build your house or business from the ground up, man. What? That's crazy.
He built it.
I wouldn't even know where to
A&W in Barron.
Yeah, what?
He built that building. That Barron gas station, he built that.
I wouldn't even know where to start. I literally wouldn't have no idea where to even start. I mean, I'm assuming from the ground. Yeah.
We should go.
So, like Fitzy and I, Professional Exteriors and Interiors believes that it's the little things that make a big difference. So give them a call today at 715-520-2271. Special thank you to Shell Lake Police Chief Dave Wilson for squeezing us into his busy schedule and joining us last week on our show. In case you missed it, you can watch a recording of that and all of our shows on our website at DrydenWire.com, on our YouTube channel, which is just YouTube. I guess it's / I've always called it / but / DrydenWire, or right on Facebook on our videos tab. As a reminder, 1 week from today, Chris Cruzy will be joining Fitzy and I right here on Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy. Fitzy, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm also mostly awesome, except for some his usual audio issues and everything else.
I tried to get a new microphone ready for next week, and it caused all kinds of problems.
Yep. So here's a little behind the scenes for people. Obviously, we start around 8:30, so I send a link for Fitzy to click on, and for all of our guests, I send it at 8:15. So then I'll give them plenty of time to sign in. We go over any audio issues or anything. Well, Fitzy usually jumps on at like 8:28. But this time he did get on a little earlier when we're testing it out, but we can't figure it out. So, I'll come down and we'll get that fixed before next week.
All right, we can take care of that.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Not much. Oh, here's my one big positive thing. Wishing happy birthday today to my mother, Diane, and to one of my daughters, Annalise. They celebrate birthdays on the same day today. So happy birthday to them.
Happy birthday, everyone.
Yeah.
And everybody else having a birthday.
Everybody gets, and you get a happy birthday, and you get a happy birthday. Yeah, and I saw, she must not be on this morning, but Amanda I saw on her page it was her birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Amanda!
Oh,
And she's not even here to hear us say nice things.
she gets up every morning to us. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Her alarm must have not gone off this morning.
We'll do
Okay.
a golfer chat.
So I didn't have any press releases. Oh, I'm sorry. What's new with you? Give me something big, positive thing.
Man, we played some hockey this weekend. My kid got the game winner, double overtime, 5 seconds to go in double overtime. Boom, hits it in.
I know. How cool is
Against
that?
Hayward, which is good rivalry. But man, their Hayward goalie, 67. I know you don't know nothing about hockey.
I know about hockey. I just don't watch it.
Yeah.
So
Mike
what was the
Schaefer would
goalie?
appreciate this.
Yeah.
67 shots that goalie had against
Shots on goal?
We had 67. He blocked 65 of them.
Holy like so normally like in the NHL it's like between 20 in the 20s and 30s, maybe like a 40 every once in a while, but I don't even know if last time I've even seen, at least in NHL, 50, much less 68. Holy cow.
67 shots on goal. What respect to him, man. Pretty tough for a high school kid to stop that many shots, and
that's crazy.
And
that's crazy. Awesome.
But yeah, he had the game winner, so that was pretty awesome. They went 3-0 last week, or in the last Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We had 3 games in a row, double overtime. Boom. Yeah. That's defense. Yeah, they need some defense. And they were,
yeah.
Goalie.
And good morning, Mary Elizabeth. Sorry, a few others. So actually, that's one thing I am going to start changing right now. The good mornings and the highs. Thank you very much for putting those in, and we'll like those, and we'll try to say something. But when I watch the shows at night, which I do, Drew gets to see it for the first time. I get to kind of go through and critique it, like what I did well and what we could do better. There's times where I realize I'm looking at all of these and I'm trying to put them on the screen, and I'm not listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, well, that's pretty difficult.
Yep.
They're not here for you.
If you have a question or a comment or something a little longer, then I'll certainly put that on. But I need to actually, just like my teachers in high school told me, pay attention. So I'm going to work on that.
That's right. We all need to do that.
Yeah. So
we're always playing with something here.
So you haven't sent out any press releases again. This is like a record, and we haven't had an updated story or a new article, crime and court story for Barron in the last week. So there's nothing there. I do want to.
Have you seen a lot of crime and court stories in the in your other counties? I mean, I haven't seen a ton.
In the last couple of weeks, not so much. That's why it kind of goes in spurts. Sometimes we'll have 7, 8, or 9, and some of those are from the very beginning, like original story. We see one, and then we do a story on it, and some of them are just updates. But it's kind of random. Sometimes we'll have 7, 8, or 9 in a week, and then sometimes I think last week we had 1 or 2. And this week I think we had 1 yesterday, and that was an update. But there doesn't seem to be a ton. I mean, there is a lot, but I'm talking like the bigger cases. There doesn't really seem to be a ton in the last couple of weeks, and I don't know why.
I'm not saying that there's no crime in Barron County. I'm saying there's just not, which is good, no big cases. I mean, I think that's important, and I think it's obviously the cold weather keeps people in. Although it's been really nice the last couple of days, but it's going to get cold again very shortly, quickly.
Yeah, so. I forgot. I meant to put up a Bunny's post last week because I can't remember if it was Arizona or not.
It was.
Was it Arizona? Yeah. So she's. I wonder what the crime is like down there because it's nice and warm.
I'm sure that's fine.
I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, but no, that is we've noticed in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I know like John Yackel, I don't know if he's still doing it, but he had like rotator cuff surgery, and I'm sure that kind of slowed things down. And I know there's some trial things, so maybe that's a part of it too. But yeah, I really haven't seen a ton. I mean, in terms of the bigger ones, which again is good.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't seen a lot.
Yeah, you'll see a press release on Thursday, I think. It sounds like there's going to be a resolution in a case from upstairs in our DA's office. Mm-hmm. On a OWI injury fatality case. Mm-hmm. That sounds like there's a resolution in a case. That would have been the Amish buggy one.
Sure.
Sounds like that is coming to a conclusion in court. And I think the DA's office is sending out a press release on that. Okay. So you'll see that coming because I know that's a case that a lot of people have followed. Yeah. And we can talk about that obviously next week. But other than that, no, I don't see much going on. We've had a a couple smaller burglary type things that we're working on. Um, and so, we're going to work on a drug thing this afternoon.
Well, what do you mean work on a drug thing? What does that mean?
Well, a new plan. I mean, because
Oh,
we have obviously that's part of our goals that we set, to work on the meth problem.
hmm
We're going to work with the Turtle Lake Police Department. Hang on, I gotta shut my phone off. I didn't do it.
I just always feel like that's an important
It's the
call.
county administrator. Should we do it live?
You,
And do it the county
put
administrator?
him on speakerphone. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He knows not to call. It's DrydenWire.
No kidding. Come on.
And so we're going to work on a new plan with the Turtle Lake Police Department today, and a new drug idea, some different ideas that their department has and our drug unit has, and put together a different. We're going to try something new. So Chief Gabi over there's got a good idea. We're going to add to that idea, and we're going to try to come up with a better plan to take over some of the drug problem that we have over there.
Yeah.
The casino, it's not the casino itself, but it's the people who attend the casino. The casino works with us great. The hotel works with us and people like that. So that's what we got going on. Not much going on here.
So, well, we'll try to get to some of that next week, but we also have Chris Cruzy on, so I don't know how much we'll get to that. And then the following week, you're off.
Yep.
You're going on vacation or something?
No, I got to go give a talk at UW River Falls, and then I have another appointment in the afternoon to meet with some people.
Okay. Well, we're still doing a show that day, and Mike Schaefer is going to be filling in for you. So next week is Chris Cruzy, and then 2 weeks from today will be Mike and I. That'll be exciting. And I asked him if he would fill in, and he goes, well, just you and I? I'd rather be on with Fitzy. I'm like, hey, you jerk.
I'll
Don't
try
do
to
it that.
zoom in and quick for 5 minutes so he doesn't
That'd
feel
be
left
great.
out.
That'd be good. We've talked before about having people on, and when we have people on, it's for various reasons. But if it's a politician, like we've had Dave Armstrong on, but it wasn't about politics per se. Maybe some bills that they were working on, but it's really more about the citizens of Barron County. And we had kind of talked about, because we want Governor Evers on. Of course, I don't think he ever will, but whatever. But it wasn't going to be about politics. It was like, what is your average day like? Just getting to know the person a little bit. And I realized I don't think I've ever asked you that question. I know there's no such thing as a typical day or an average day, but well, I mean, actually there kind of is. I mean, that's why it's called an average. But what is an average or a typical day for you? If maybe it's different from a Monday to a Thursday, but what is a typical day for you, the Barron County Sheriff?
It's funny you asked that because I got asked that question yesterday. I gave a talk at the Cameron School, and yesterday was kind of an odd. I don't know if it was an odd day. I guess probably not because I had a lot of meetings. But I started off I started off here. I came here in the morning, went through email, started the day, drove to WITC or Northwood Tech. I can't say WITC anymore. Northwood Tech, and I went to a board meeting there. I serve as a board member for that. For the off week. And then after that I came back to the office, did some work, and then I went to Cameron School and gave a talk to a class on careers and what the sheriff does. And that got asked, what's my typical day? And I said,
so what you're telling me is I'm 45 and I'm in media, and my question was the exact same as a teenager's.
Yeah, right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So they had a lot more too.
We should have them on. They should host the show.
Right. That would be cool.
All right. So what is a typical day?
A lot of meetings. Obviously, from the sheriff's standpoint, I'd say it's a lot of meetings. And then I went to county board at 5 o'clock. I went down to the Chautauqua Chautauqua City Council on an ambulance service meeting about the state of the ambulance with different townships. And I went as an observer to that meeting. I didn't take part in that meeting, but that obviously EMS and how Barron County functions is the job of the sheriff. So if somebody has a problem with a service, or they're going to discontinue, they're not discontinuing anything, but if they were going to discontinue it or they were going to add to it, ambulance service is a hot topic right now because it costs a lot of money. It's hard to find EMTs. EMTs have to have more hours now and more training. It's kind of like our volunteer fire departments. The state of Wisconsin has put a lot of restrictions on volunteer firemen and how much equipment they have to have and how much training they have to have. So people are like, this isn't just answering the bell anymore. It's a lot more intense. The calls are more intense, the accidents. So you're seeing less people want to do that. It's kind of the same with law enforcement. You're seeing less people want to do it part-time. There's a lot of people that want to do it as a career. If you look at like my dad, he was full-time insurance. but he did that part-time for 30 years, as a part-time officer. So we don't even have part-time positions anymore. Most police departments, and we talked a lot with Wilson about that last week. But EMS is kind of the same thing. And my fear is that the Chetek ambulance, doesn't exist, and takes Mayo or LMC ambulance longer to get to a call. And that's my role as sheriff, to have some input into that, because obviously we dispatch for that. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Ryan Olson's got it going on down in Chetek. I think it'll be fine. It's just some people don't like the amount it costs that comes with that service. And you have to decide what you want for a service as a city council. And you as a taxpayer get to have some input in that. Now, if you want me to get rid of the meth problem in Barron County, I probably can. But I'm probably going to need 5 people to do that. Now, does it make sense to spend $500,000 on that without a guarantee? No, I think what we're doing is adequate. Could we do more? Sure. If you give me 5 more cops, I can solve traffic problems. I can do this, a lot of different things. So that's what my role as sheriff. So my typical day is doing that, talking to the public, going to meetings. Today I'm going to Turtle Lake. After that, we have a meeting, just looking at my schedule, on sex offender placement. And then I have there's a Northwest Wisconsin HOPE consortium, which has to do with some drug issues, and we're part of that consortium. So I want to see what they're doing. Is Barron County going to, is there grant money for Barron County? Is there something that this group can do for Barron County? Then I'm speaking to the Cumberland Women's Club at 7:00 on the state of Barron County. And then I have a hockey game at 7. Tomorrow I'm part of the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm teaching.
Wait, hold on. So you're speaking at the Cumberland Women's something at 7, and then a hockey game at 7 as well. How are you going to do that? Are you going to do it like
7:30?
Oh, okay.
7:30 the hockay game starts.
Okay.
Actually, I got to call my dad and tell him. They're probably listening. The hockey game starts at 7:30. It got changed from 7 to 7:30. I have no idea why, but it worked out perfect for me.
Good.
So, so at different meetings all day. I don't get to do a lot of police work. And that's why sometimes on weekends I come out and just not sit in my office. I go out and hit the streets, or I go down to the jail, or I spend some time in dispatch doing different things. But lots of meetings, And again, they ask, why am I part of so many boards, whether it be the Benjamin House Board or the UW Foundation or the Tech College or whatever, because I think that has an impact on Barron County, and I'm trying to make Barron County the best it is. If the Sheriff's Department can be part of the Tech College process to bring more people here, to find better solutions for homeless, to make kids more safe at the Boys and Girls Club, because the hours of 3:30 to 6:30 are the most critical time that we need to have kids under control. That after school hours until parents get home sometimes is the most critical time for people to start smoking, drinking, doing other things. So if we can build up programs like the Boys and Girls Club, that's a bonus for us. It's less work for me. So if I can serve on the Boys and Girls Club board and reduce the number of calls for service for the Sheriff's Department, I've done my job.
Yeah. I remember, so a lot of that is meetings. And I remember when Dad was the sheriff for 28 years here in Washburn County, I think it was shortly before he even retired. It was like 5 years ago. And I asked him a question about, hey, what is like a speeding ticket, or maybe something about windshields, like what's the law in terms of a crack or something? He goes, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, but okay, been in law enforcement for 30-some years, sheriff for 20-some years. You don't know? He goes, that's not the stuff I know. We have a team they're great at that stuff, and my job is to certainly oversee that, but don't typically go out and patrol. I'm not up on all of if there's been a law that's changed or something small like that, and now it's different. It's not really what I do. So like you're a cop, but you're not. I mean, you are, but it's a different kind of a role. And, I think that's the important part behind that. It is and we've talked about this before, I do believe that a chief of police, well, that might be a little different because like a Dave Wilson, where he is, he has to be a cop and he has to be kind of like the administrator, like a sheriff, where he goes to all those meetings and does all of those things, but he still has to go out, part of his job, because it's a small town or city. Right. So he has to he's like a player coach, right. Where you're more coach. But you can step in like Dad has done, and I know that you do. You've talked about it before, but going out and being a part of these things, whether it's a SWAT call or whether it's on a Saturday night, as a busy night, you fill in, maybe just go and run patrol, pull over some speeders to kind of stay fresh. But yeah, it's there's so many different things that you do. But one of the takeaways here that I just kind of heard from you was you started, I mean, you were in the office what time this morning?
I got here I checked in about 6:40.
6:40, and you still have a meeting at 7 o'clock tonight.
Right.
And that's interesting. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
not all sheriffs, actually most of the ones that I know, are very active, engaged from the very beginning in the morning to very, very late at night.
Right.
If you take your job seriously, I think that just kind of comes with a gig, and I don't think a lot of people see that.
Right. No, I mean, did I have to go to that Shatek meeting last night? No, but I think
It's
by
important.
going to it, learning some things, giving some input. I didn't talk during the actual meeting, but some people afterwards have questions, and you show your support for the current EMTs that they have there because they're a rock solid job. I mean, every EMT, every first responder, every volunteer fireman, I depend on, and so if I can do something to help them so that they're there when somebody needs help, it isn't always about me or the sheriff's department. It's about making sure we have services available to people. And that's where I think the sheriff plays a role. And I have some authority and some power that can be sometimes used to the benefit of making sure people, we have first responders out there to do it. Our dispatchers call them, and I want to make sure they're in service, ready to go, have the equipment they need, help them do that, raise funds, whatever it is. So for that, I missed a hockey meeting and a library meeting last night because, there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
But that happens. So it's important to be involved, and I can't thank the people that serve. I sent a note to the library board because I missed their meeting. But if there isn't people serving on these boards in these volunteer roles, because I don't get paid to serve on any of these boards, they're all volunteer. If there's not volunteer on these library boards or UWEC BC boards or the campus boards or Boys and Girls Club, it takes a lot of work to be on a volunteer Boys and Girls Club. They have to fundraise, and they have to raise money and bug their friends and do things like that. Yeah. So it takes a lot. So if you're serving on a board, thank you. It's important.
So I'll get to this question, or maybe it's just a comment here. Let's put it up right now. Wrote a paper last summer about Chris and his role as sheriff. It was insightful to sit down and chat with him to learn about exactly what he does and how he feels about his role. As a citizen, it's important to understand what that job entails. 100% agree, Shasta. 100% agree. You had brought up EMTs, and I'm kind of glad you did, and this really wasn't something we're going to talk about. Maybe I'll get more information and we could talk about it later at a different show. But I want to touch on it now. I believe that in Burnett County, they have gone from 4, units, 4 trucks, 4 buses. What is it?
Ambulances?
Sure, 4 ambulances. Went from 4 down to 3 recently. And I was just curious as to why. Was this a county decision? Was it a budgetary type thing? So I made a few calls. I think this was a week or two ago. And from best of my knowledge, what I was able to learn was that this is actually a town decision. That Correct. Towns and cities, they get together, and like the top person in each one, I don't know what they're, the chair or something.
Town chair usually.
Sure. They all get together and they decide a lot of these things. So I was really surprised because Burnett County is geographically, pretty big, and it's I don't know how much money that saved by going from 4 down to 3. But I'd be a little concerned. 4 down to 3, Grantsburg all the way over to Center, that's a very big difference. And I know they also assist, and there's a part of Washburn County as well. And you get one call, you could have 2 or 3 ambulances going to that one, and now they have a call. I'm just saying, all of a sudden, your dad or your partner is having a heart attack. It could be 45 minutes. Now, maybe that's hyperbole, I don't know, or an exaggeration. But that's kind of a big deal. And I believe, at least in Burnett, don't quote me, I'll find out, get maybe more accurate, but I believe part of that, the issue is there's only one service provider at the moment. Well, when you're the only dog in town, you can charge whatever you want. Now, I don't know if that's a part of the equation or not, but it piqued my curiosity to start looking into what is Washburn doing? What is Barren doing? What is the coverage right now? And is it where it needs to be for our EMTs and our ambulances?
And that's a decision. It's tough because you're right. Every municipality, every township gets to decide what fire and EMS they want. Technically, police too, but if they don't have police, the sheriff's department has to provide service. The city of Barron, and they're not thinking about this, but the city of Barron can close their police department tomorrow, and I have to provide that service free of charge. Okay, the city of Barron can say our police department is, I don't know what they're, $1 million. It's not 1 million, but let's say $1 million. We're going to save $1 million tomorrow. We're not going to have a police department. I have to come in and answer all of the calls for the service for that.
Yeesh.
Now, am I going to write their parking tickets or their barking dogs or their bike registration? No, because we don't do that at the sheriff's department.
No.
So you get a bonus service when you can set municipal laws and rules and things like that.
Yeah, the city ordinances, sheriff's offices typically aren't going to worry about.
Correct. We're not.
Right.
We don't have that as a rule or a law. But I'm going to handle your 911 calls, your domestics, your underage, all your crimes we have to handle. So, but ambulances are the same way. A police or a township can decide, I want this fire department and I want this ambulance service, and how much is that? And then the ambulance says it's $10,000,
Sure.
and then they do it. So there's a lot of power in municipalities, and that's who it was last night. It was the city of Chautauqua and the townships around Chautauqua deciding, why they're paying so much and how come they're paying so much. And there was a lot of questions, and but again, I don't want to play politics with people's lives. And you said it's bad to go from 4 to 3. And most people are saying, well, I want my taxes reduced until I need the ambulance.
Right.
And then I'm like, wait.
Right.
So we've got to think ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the trouble with, you can't convince people. They're like, I want to save $1 because I don't need the ambulance until I need the ambulance.
Yeah. And law enforcement, we've talked about it before in previous shows, especially during that narrative about defund police and et cetera, and what does that look like? Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's a necessary evil, because there's nothing evil about that. It is, especially when it comes again, law enforcement and EMT, and actually firefighters are put in the same category here, under the same umbrella. That you're right. Maybe you don't really. Do we have to spend that much? We could save a few pennies here. First, I'd want to know, where is that money then going to go? If you're taking away $10,000, fine. What are you going to do with that $10,000? But let's assume that you just, you don't have to pay a little bit extra at the end of the year for your taxes. I don't know. There's just some things that these are like core parts of our communities. And yeah, you're right. If you call 911 and I may need fire, I may need police, and I may need an ambulance. And if it's 25 minutes instead of 10 minutes, that's a difference between a life and a death. And I don't think you screw around with that stuff.
And over, if it's $1 million, if it's $10,000, I don't know that you do. But that's tough when you get a township of 200 people and you're spreading that over that, where I take my budget is $8.5 million and I spread that out over 44,000 people. It's different. Now, again, people in municipalities pay twice, because they pay for the city police and they pay for the sheriff's department. They pay a percentage of the sheriff's department. Mm-hmm. So, but that includes the jail and dispatch and services that they use. So, again, it gets way more complicated than that. But it's just an important role for people to pay attention about. Yeah. And again, we talk on this show about things, small topics, and but it's your job as a Chautauqua resident or a Burnett County resident to realize what's going on.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll definitely get into that more. I'll find out some more information about it as well, so I have some detailed stuff. Maybe we'll even do a story on it. But yeah, that's something I think people should be paying attention to. But circling back to the reason this all came up was because you were at a meeting last night.
Right.
And you said that you weren't even speaking. You weren't there. You were just there because as the sheriff, I want to know, kind of keep my pulse on what's going on. Yeah. Now that actually, I think, shows a lot more insight as to why you were there. It wasn't just, I got nothing else to do, I'm going to go. It's, this stuff's important for a citizen, but also as the sheriff, I need to kind of know what's going on. I want to hear what anyone else is talking about, if they have any concerns and how they address those. And maybe I haven't thought of a concern. So, that makes a lot more sense.
Yep. And also, I play politics every day, and I don't want this to be some political decision. So,
yeah. Well, that's not very nice, Brian.
That's right. Brian.
I'm kidding.
I was a late night, Brian. I was up.
Yeah, that's what we're talking. Yeah, exactly. So, moving to something else here, there was a proposed bill. I'm assuming from Republicans. It just sounds like a Republican kind of bill, or maybe it's both.
Oh, sure. Now you're a Democrat.
Would reduce legal age for concealed carry from 21 to 18. that's being proposed now. Do you have any thoughts on that from a sheriff's point of view? Does that impact law enforcement in Barron County or the sheriff's office in any way, shape, or form if concealed carry went from 21 to 18?
I don't think so. I don't think it impacts us. You still have to follow the same rules. I don't think it impacts us at all. I mean, obviously the use of a weapon, you want to make sure, but there's plenty of hunters in Wisconsin. I'm not too concerned about that. There's more younger kids that have handled more weapons than me, probably, because they hunt in a lot. So I'm not crazy about it, but I wouldn't stand up and be against that one. I just don't see. There's plenty of young hunters out there that, like I said, can handle a gun way better than me.
I didn't think about
conceal and carry is not an issue in Wisconsin. It's just not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I never thought about it from a hunting point of view, since I'm not a hunter.
Right. Right.
Nothing good happens in nature ever. So that's including. That's why I don't. I never thought about it from a hunting standpoint. At all. And someone told me once when I asked what this big deal about a concealed carry, there's about something else. And they said, well, if I'm out, I live out in the country and it's a chilly Saturday, maybe I have like a sweatshirt or a windbreaker on. And I'm out in the country, I'm out mowing somewhere, just mowing his lawn. But I always have a gun because I don't know what wildlife is, whatever. A coyote shows up or something, I think is what his point was. And he said, but if I have that over or the gun underneath my windbreaker, that's technically, and if you don't have concealed carry, permit, et cetera, that would be illegal. And I never think about things like that. I think about concealed carry in a vehicle or at a bar, something. I don't think about the hunting and the other real life applications. But yeah, I don't think it would make that big of a difference.
No, I don't. Not at all. I mean, it's like I said, hunting is the way of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And you don't get in the way of that train.
So at 18, you would be able to conceal carry. What else can you do at 18 now? Because smoking and drinking are now 21. Well, drinking has been for a while.
Right.
Why do you think 20? Why are those at 21?
I would guess it's part of the hunting. The same exact reason. I hunt. I put it over. I conceal and carry my gun during hunting.
No. I mean drinking and smoking. Why are those at 21? We should just have everything at 18 or 21. Like, I don't care. Just pick one. Why do you?
It has to do with brain. From what I know about the alcohol, it has to do about your brain development.
Oh, sure.
And decision-making skills
Sure.
that it blocks or it doesn't.
It
doesn't enhance your decision-making skills when you're drinking.
So
obviously, or we wouldn't have crime.
So at 18, right? So at 18, you can vote, but we already just admitted your brain really isn't developed yet, but you can vote still.
Yep.
That's awesome. So at 18, you might be able to conceal carry, vote, join the military. What else? What else can you do at 18? I don't know.
Buy a lottery ticket.
Oh, lottery ticket. I didn't even think about that one.
Gamble.
Man, there's a ton of awesome things at 18.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can legally have sex at 18. That's actually a thing.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't understand that one. I should ask you maybe offline sometime. I don't really understand that. So two 17-year-olds, if they have sex, I think somewhere in the law that, if you're 17, you're the victim. But if you're both 17, you're both like the perpetrator and the victim. That's just really weird.
The human services thing, we refer those cases.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So here's kind of piggybacking on this bill from 21 to 18 for concealed carry. If you could wave a magic wand, give me 2 or 3 bills or laws that you would like to see changed that would help law enforcement.
Holy cow. That's a good question.
Yes. No kids asked you that yesterday, did they?
No kids asked me that yesterday. You're exactly right. Those Cameron kids don't know nothing. Oh.
Yes, I know. Sorry, Peg. I'm just saying. Technically, you can't legally have sex until you're 18. That's a law, actually. Just saying.
What would you change? I have to think about that.
Well, see. Here's how this works. I ask the questions. You answer them.
Boy.
Boy, I don't know. Yeah. So I think of the questions, but I don't think of the answers.
I would love to come up with something, and that'll go into our next topic.
Okay.
OWIs. I mean, that was I was going to put up our OWI stats as part of our end of the year report, and if I had to, I'd like to do something with OWIs and have less fifth and sixth and seventh
Yeah.
offenses. And I don't know what the answer is to that, or I would suggest it. I mean, I don't know that prison's the answer. I don't know that, I don't know what it is. But if we could make some kind of impact
So
on
you have unlimited
OWI,
budget, by the way.
right?
Unlimited. You have no money to worry about.
It might be alcohol, better alcohol treatment, better meth treatments. I mean, that would be the the best thing I could come up with off the top of my head
Mm.
because in 2021 our OWIs actually went down, but not by that much. What was interesting, we had 78 people arrested for OWI.
Mm-hmm.
So last year was 85. So we went down 7, which is good.
Oh,
I mean,
I
we
see.
went down, but again, I think most municipalities are up. The youngest person was how young do you think the youngest person was?
So I don't know if there's like an age where you have to stop charging people or it just gets referred to someone else. I'm gonna go 14.
Oh no, come on,
Okay.
17. You
Okay.
gotta
Like
drive
I
a
don't know
car.
if at 14. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think about those things. See.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How
Well,
old
if
was
it's for
how
driving
old
a
was the
car, then I would have
oldest?
said 16. So what was the answer? 17?
17. The
Okay.
youngest person the sheriff's department arrested was 17.
Okay.
How old was the oldest person?
83.
68.
Oh. Really?
So
I kind of
yeah,
feel like there would be. Yeah,
a
there's a
little
lot of
bit
old timers
more.
out there going to the bars and maybe not.
What was really interesting and somewhat scary, I think, is 50% of all of our arrests happened between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. So
7
half of
a.m. and
our
10 p.m.
so basically
So
daylight hours. I mean,
yeah, almost like a sun up to sundown type of a thing.
correct. I mean, depending the winter and the
Right,
summer,
I know, but that's
but
interesting.
during the
So,
hours where you and I are driving on the roads, and regular people,
yeah.
most people are out on the roads driving. Our kids are out driving on the roads between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. 50% of our OWI arrests, jeepers, I didn't shut either phone off, happen between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. So I got a problem with that too. And we've got to do something different there.
if when you
It,
are you going to put this information out on your the Barron County Sheriff's
yeah,
Department Facebook
actually,
page?
the whole report gets released on Thursday afternoon to the
Okay.
media. We have a law
Awesome.
enforcement meeting in the morning, and it'll get released Thursday afternoon. Um, so, does it include? Yes, that includes first offense, but not municipal. That includes no police departments.
Right.
Ron's the chief in Chautauqua. So that
Ron,
your
I'm sorry.
numbers
What
are
was
going to
that?
be
Ron is
totally.
what?
Ron Amberzitis. He wanted to know if that includes your municipal
You
citations.
said something about your
But yes, that includes first offense.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. The police departments can write a first offense municipal
Sure.
citation.
Right. Yep.
So that's 78 arrests by the sheriff's department. Could be first offense, could be 10th offense.
Okay. When you do this, I was actually so 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and half of them. In a weird way, that's not too shocking because that's a very long time. That's what 15 hours. So I kind of get that. Is there? Would you be able to look from like a 7 to school time hours, 7 to 4?
Yeah.
I would really be interested to know from 7 to 4, and I'm sure that isn't a super high percentage, but yeah, okay. These are people driving to work in the morning, or maybe 7 to 6 or 7 to 5. School buses, people out, people going to work, coming home from work. Yeah, I'd be curious about that. Because I wonder how many of those, half of them.
Less than 50%, obviously, because it's going to go
Right.
down.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
I would just be curious about that. Yeah, whatever.
7 to 7, which is a 12-hour block. But
Sure.
what I'm,
Still,
we
that's a lot.
arrested 50% during the hours where you and I are driving around. So, so half of the everybody's happen after 10 p.m. That is correct. But that's when I think most people think most of them happen. I think if
I would have guessed 80%. That happened from 10 to 3 in the morning. I would have assumed at least I would at least have 3 out of 4, 75%.
Right. And that's not what's happening. Most of them are happening during the daylight hours. And most of them, I don't have that broke down on, I have the number of days a week. I mean, they happen every day of the week. It's not like more happen on Thursday and Friday, but not by Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, there was 11 each day. So it's not like you can say Friday only had 12, Saturday had 18. So it's not like I can say, the weekend is really, there's a lot more because
I would assume
on Tuesdays we arrested 11, and on Thursdays we arrested 11, and on Sundays we arrested 11. Mondays and Wednesdays was the lowest, 7 and 8. Fridays and Saturdays there was a little bit more. But
I'm a little surprised by that too. I would have
yeah,
honestly figured Friday and Saturday nights.
you'd have got a lot more. But
And
the weekend, but that's 3 days, so it's not like the others is only four
right.
weekdays. But if you count Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Interesting.
so but it's gone down every year, and we stopped more cars this year, which I think is important to say. Did we do less enforcement? Is that why we got less OWI?
Sure.
So we actually stopped more cars than we did last year. By 414 more cars were stopped by sheriff's department people. So you can say the number
414.
went
That
down,
sounds like
but,
a lot. Like, what's the total number? How many stops?
1,732 cars.
So the year before it was like around 1,300.
Exactly, 1,318.
Hold,
So we
that's
stopped.
was there out of curiosity, was this a kind of a not a directive, a focus for 2021 of let's
Don't
make
look
sure
at-
that we do?
No, yeah, well, yes and no. COVID, I don't like comparing to 20 numbers because of COVID.
Sure.
We had a lot of traffic restrictions, a lot less people traveled in 2020. If you look at our 19 numbers, we stopped 2,189 cars. So we'd actually be down.
Okay. All
So
right.
I don't like
It's like,
comparing
man,
to
that
20.
seems like a really big increase. Which is
It
fine if it
but-
was, but I see. But you're comparing it to, yeah. And it looks like Ron, you said something about Shatek earlier. That's what I was asking. Ron, who is Ron?
He's the chief.
Oh, I
He's
didn't
the
know
chief.
that. I feel like I should know that. I'm sorry, Ron. Shatek had 11 first offense OWIs.
Yeah.
First offense. Wow, that's
Yeah.
Shatek. Wow, that's so Shatek had 11 in the sheriff's office at 70. I'm actually, maybe that isn't a high number, but it seems like a high number for Shatek.
No,
11
I don't
of
think
them.
it's very high.
No, that's not.
although
Mm-mm.
we haven't started out the year real good. One deputy last weekend got one on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The deputy didn't get the OWI.
Oh, I was just saying,
arrested
wow,
for
he still
people.
works there? Man, no wonder why everybody wants to work at the Barron County Sheriff's Office. You can do whatever you want.
That's right. So he got one Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. Only one of them was in the ditch, I think. So that means there was two involved.
That
in
doesn't
traffic
count.
stops.
He didn't really get one.
Yeah, he didn't. Really.
We're not
He
giving
got-
him a gold star for that one. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
He just kind of walked into that one.
So,
I can't wait to read more about these OWI. I didn't realize until you started talking about it. I'm really fascinated by that.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating topic.
So we just started looking at some of the times because I saw a trend of seeing more people get arrested during the daytime.
You've
hours.
mentioned that. Even in the morning times,
Right.
you've mentioned that.
And that irritates me a little bit. I mean, just because that's when you're not prepared for that. Like during a snowstorm, you're prepared for the snow. And,
Oh, sure.
when it's busy, you're prepared for people stop. But at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, I'm not prepared for the guy in front of me to swerve at me because I'm drunk. Now I got to be ready for that. But that's just not something our mind is.
Yeah, you're not hyper aware of.
Yeah,
I like that
at 2 in the
analogy
morning,
of the snow.
right.
Okay. Or if a whole bunch of traffic is going by, or if a semi, like you're driving down the road on the interstate and everything is fine, beautiful day, and a big semi is coming up. Okay, you're aware that, okay, I got to make sure that. But yeah, you don't really think about that stuff. When my wife is going to work in the morning, I don't think she's thinking, I look out for those drunks.
Yeah.
Right?
But at 2 in the morning, if she was driving home, you're coming home from the airport or something at 2 in the morning,
You
you're
would
like,
be.
Man, is that guy drunk? Is that guy drunk? Is that guy drunk?
Yeah.
So it's just I'm irritated by it, and it's a reality of life, and it doesn't have to be. It's the only crime on this piece of paper that can be 100% preventable. So I just don't understand it. It's tough when I don't drink. It's tough, but I don't know. So.
Yeah.
But that's the stat of the week that I want to post
I love
and
it.
talk about.
I can't
So,
wait to get more information. If you put anything up today about that, or on Thursday, you said you were doing something. Are you also sending that out in I think last year you sent out like a PDF or something?
It'll be a PDF of the whole report,
Sure.
every crime, and we're going to start breaking them down. And that's what I wanted to do every Monday. I just did not get to it yesterday. So hopefully I can put our OWI stats up today and put that out there. And then we're going to continue to break it down that every week.
All right, cool. Elizabeth there, considering there are many contributing factors to DUIs and other drug-related crimes, and applying comprehensive solutions by improving education, addiction, mental health, housing, living wage, and sober activity resources could be helpful. Dave Armstrong, he was on our show a couple of months ago, and the two of you had talked about that. That David said there really isn't a place to go for people who don't drink. There's not a lot of activities where 'cause a lot of things are just kind of revolved around alcohol. There's just not a lot there.
Every bar and restaurant, the kids in Cameron told me that the Dollar General sells beer in Cameron. I didn't even know that. I mean, I didn't even believe them. I said, you guys, they're like, no, because it was funny because they were talking about careers and they were talking about how you got to be 18 to work at Dollar General because they want you to be able to work alone and because they sell alcohol. And those are true statements that have to be followed. So, I mean, it's just everywhere. And, that's okay. I have no problem with that. It's something we have to be aware of and prepare for. So high school kids can't work at Dollar General. That's
until they're 18. That's another thing that you can do when you're 18.
That you can get a job
at Dollar General.
Man, people, we just must influence people every day by watching this show.
All right, so I will talk to you after this or at some point. I know you're very busy, but we'll set up a time. I'll come down this week, some early morning. Get your microphone, all that stuff set up. Looking forward to Chris Cruzy coming on next Tuesday. That'll be fun. All right, man. We're already up against our time. Anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, but ask
that
Mike
would take
Schaefer
less than
about
5
EMTs.
seconds. What's that?
EMTs. Talk to Mike Schaefer about EMTs and ambulances. There you go.
What? Oh, you know what? I was going to say, why would I talk to Mike? This is something you and I were going to. This is our thing.
Well, then I can contribute to something to the show.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to Mike about it too. All right, cool.
Who do you got this weekend? 49ers or Packers?
Packers don't do super great in the playoffs. I'll go the Packers to win this one, but I don't think they'll make it past the NFC Championship because they'll have to play either Tampa Bay Bucks or the Rams. So I'll say they're going to win this game with the 49ers. But the 49ers they have a history of going to Lambeau Field and beating the Packers. That's a real thing.
Packers win. I don't know if the Packers can beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but
I don't think they're going to make it past the Bucks or the Rams. Packers aren't making it to the Super Bowl.
The Bucks they may have trouble with, but they got to play in Lambeau.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Hollywood team in LA, I don't think they're really good in the cold weather.
Yeah.
You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go 49ers. I don't necessarily think they're going to win, but that would be a good upset pick.
You just wanted some hate mail this week or what?
I don't get enough of it already. So, yeah, I'm going 49ers. You can go Packers. That's perfectly fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. See, someone said video and audio out of sync. Yeah, so we're working on that, man. I don't understand it. I think part of it is also your signal, like if you're on Wi-Fi or device. We're trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Hopefully it'll get better. I know on the replay, everything's synced up, but sometimes when it's live, something gets screwed up, and we can't figure it out. But we're working on it.
We'll fix it.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
All right.
You've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the outside and on the inside of your home or business. For more information, give them a call. The number's right there on the screen. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden saying thank you for watching. Thank you for all of the comments and participating. We'll see you back here next week when we'll be chatting with Chris Cruzy. Until then, remember, it's the little things that make a big difference. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.